Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. It's about 5 o'clock, February 3rd, Monday, about 31 degrees, give or take a little bit. That one says 32, and this one says 31 or 0 Celsius. I guess that shouldn't be a surprise, right? That's the easy one to do. Freezing is 0 for Celsius, 32 for Fahrenheit. Alright, what am I up to today? I had physical therapy this morning, and you can see we picked up, I don't know, 2-3 inches of snow. Not quite sure how, I don't know, let's call it 4 inches of snow maybe. We weren't supposed to get anything, but you know, if you're a weatherman, you don't have to know what you're doing. Yeah, just look at the footprints. I mean, I don't know, that's 3-4 inches, right? So, physical therapy, which means nap, which means get up and try to get something done. So I wandered out here to the garage, and I finished putting this box together. Remember, this is the portable ignition box. Here's the, well, we'll take a look at the diagrams and the price and all that. Let me show you how it works. I just have it sitting on this engine. This engine is not doing anything for a living, right? See, that's not doing anything. So, have it hooked up. The switch is like way cool. You know, for $3, I thought this was a way cool switch. See, when you turn it on, the light comes on. I don't know, can I show you that? Of course. Nothing cooperates. See the bright light? See when it's off, no light. When it's on, bright light. I don't know. I like bright lights. And if you take a look here, hopefully I'll be able to show you the spark happening. I don't know, I gotta set this up better somehow so you guys could actually see it work, right? What's the use of telling you all about this exciting thing that I built if I can't show you it sparks? Okay, I think you guys could see that. So anyway, so it's done. Let me show you what the inside of the box looks like. Obviously the fancy switch, the CDI, the coil, the batteries. And these batteries, this is 12 volts worth of batteries here. This is actually one layer, and underneath it there's another layer. I'd take it out, but it would make a mess. I have some soldering to do in there and a little bit of tape up, and I have to add a fuse, but other than that it's done. So just quickly, for people who haven't been following this from the beginning, this is a portable DC ignition system. To hook it up, you only have to hook up 2 wires, those 2 wires to the pulsar. So any bike with a pulsar, you hook to the pulsar, which tells you what your engine timing is, and then you hook up a ground. I have it hooked to the spark plug, but you can hook a ground right to the body. Obviously the spark plug will be hooked right to the body. So 2 wires to the pulsar, and this is ground. So basically 2 ground wires and 1 to get the energy out of the pulsar. And that's all the hookup you need to do. So this thing is self-contained. It's got its own power, its own coil, right? You can see the coil comes right out of there. And it's all set up. So why would I want one of these? And this is important. I have one of these bikes and I have no spark, right? All I have to do is disconnect these 2 wires, hook them up, right? Red to the blue, black to the green, and then the other black to the case just to ground it out. I now have an ignition system, right? How long does that take? literally seconds. Right? The other thing I need to do, if let's say this is an unknown engine, but it has compression and all, just slam a carburetor on there with a remote gas tank, right? Now I have fuel through a nice carburetor. I have ignition, right? Throttle. Pull the string a couple of times and you find out what kind of condition your engine is in. Right? She starts up, she doesn't smoke, she runs good, you know it's a bike worth putting some time and effort into, and you can finish troubleshooting the ignition system. There are other videos, and if you go through my channel, if you want to go through some of that. She starts up, you got a bang, she smokes, the valves are making noise, whatever. Then once again, you can make another decision. You don't have all kinds of money tied up and all kinds of confusion. This box has a built-in curve, ignition curve in advance, so to speak. Well, actually, it's known as the spark advance, so ignition advance. So this box already has it in. If you're familiar with this engine, it has an advance built in, also a mechanical advance. So it will start, it'll run, but it won't throttle up any more than like 1,000 RPM, and it kind of sounds like a little bit tinny, like the spark is too far out front, and that's because it is, because at about 1,000 RPM this thing starts advancing, and the electronic ignition starts advancing, but it will fire up, it'll work, and all that's good. This is actually a mechanical advance out of a 200S. You notice it doesn't have any springs. I'm going to bypass, I'm basically going to lock it so that it's not advanced. It's in the unadvanced state. Put this in that bike and see how she runs it. It should actually run fairly well. So once you guys see one of these things and you say, very nice, how much does it cost? If you add up all the components, right, you can see that, right? Box, battery holder, switch, the pigtail, and a couple of the connectors, those spade connectors to slide on. The CDI unit, 16 bucks, 10 bucks for the coil. You can actually use the coil off the bike. You could just run an extra couple of leads out of the box and use the coil for the bike. But once again, I wanted to make it self-contained. I wanted it all to fit in one place. And this way, once again, I have one hot lead, so to speak, and two grounds to hook up, and I'm done. Anyway, if you add that all up, including the batteries that came from Dollar Tree, $2 worth of batteries, it comes to about 50 bucks. Right? So, portable remote ignition system, 50 bucks. I have a golf cart outside that's actually got a 2-cylinder Robin that has an ignition problem. And the way the ignition system works on that, it has 2 secondary coils, so 2 spark coils and 1 primary. And what happens is every time the engine goes around, both fire, but one is at top dead center for the ignition stroke and the other one is opposite that, and then you go 1 more RPM and then the other one's top dead center ignition stroke and the other one's opposite that. Oh, we got an attack cat in here. So now that I built this, and obviously using it for troubleshooting here, this also takes that golf cart one step closer to running. I don't need to buy the ignition box for it. I believe this thing will be just fine. I haven't looked up the Robin engine to see if it's got a mechanical advance, the 2-cylinder Robin engine, or if it has the advance in the CDI unit like this does. I'm hoping it has the advance in the CDI unit. It's kind of sloppy, assuming every engine has the same advance, but it'll work, right? I mean, it'll get me running, it'll get me moving, and that's what I'm trying to do. Before you put a load of money into these bikes, it's nice to figure out what the story is. So there we are. So I got all the parts from eBay. right? By the way, those are AA batteries, so that's an 8 cell AA battery holder. The switch, you don't have to go Mr. Fancy lighted switch here, but I thought it was cool for $3. The pigtail and connectors, I recommend that. It was worth the $10 to put the right pigtail onto the CDI unit rather than have all kinds of stuff that could fall off. The CDI unit, make sure you get a DC powered CDI unit. If I speak about it in the videos and I give the source and all that. If anybody has any questions, just ping me and I'll put the source of the CDI. Once again, the coil, it's not all that fussy about that. So there it is, and here's the circuit. Right, those two, 3 and 4, off the ground. Quiet you. 2 goes to the spark coil. Once again, the green from the spark coil goes to ground. The black takes the power from the CDI unit. Pin number 1 is the red line right there. That goes to the blue on the pulsar coil. Green on the pulsar coil goes to ground. You got your batteries, your switch. I did not put a fuse on this. Let me back up a little bit. Hopefully you guys could see the schematic. That's the spark plug right there. And let me zoom into each part. Okay, so 3 and 4, you see go right to ground. Number 6 is the DC power. Right, so 6, see it goes to the fuse, the switch, off to the batteries, and then to ground. That whole long line on the bottom is ground. Right, 5 is a no connection. 2, once again, goes to the sparking coil. So 2 goes to the black on the spark coil, green on the spark coil goes to ground. Obviously one side of the spark plug needs to be ground. That's one of those other black lines. Those 2 black lines are both connected to ground, so you can mix them up if you want to. And one of the other black line goes to green right there on the pulsar. So there you have it. Right? I think you guys, and once again let me back off so you can see the whole schematic. There you go. So for about $50, you guys could have one of these for troubleshooting your bikes. It's all self-contained, works beautifully, and I even put it on that thing, and we actually saw that bike start up and run with it. So we know it works. It'll work better on something without an advance, but it'll work on this too. This CDI unit is one of those Chinese ones. It goes in a Chinese bike, scooter, all that kind of stuff. Anything with a DC ignition. DC ignition means you're powered by batteries, not by some strange stator coil or a stator coil. You're not powered by these 2 guys. You're not powered by that guy there on the stator coil, right? You're actually powered by batteries. Alright folks, gotta start playing with snow, gotta deal with this, so I think I'm gonna fire up the snowblower tomorrow. Here it is. I mean, not bad. It's almost a 5:15. We still got some daylight out here. That shows that's good stuff. A couple of quick comments. It's interesting. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody who puts interesting comments. I had one guy go to one of my old videos. It's when I bought that 200X motor over eBay, the 6-speed, and his comment, parental guidance, but his comment was, "This guy don't know shit," and It's interesting. There's different ways to react to that kind of stupidity. I decided not to go to his page and destroy him or anything. He had a page that had like 5 videos on it of 30 seconds each of like him running around in circles pulling a sled. I mean, it's like, so I don't know anything, eh? I'm going to assume he was drunk and just let it pass on that. So I mean, you just got to let that stuff kind of go. Once again, if somebody wants to make a comment to be helpful and all that, I love the comments. You know, you guys could see I respond to most of the comments if Google lets me. You know, I'm doing this so that we both learn something. So, but I thought that was cute. The second thing is questions. Guys, feel free to ask questions. If it's a question that I'm nervous about answering, you know, like because it's personal or whatever, I won't answer it, or we'll take it offline, right? We'll do it via private email. Which, by the way, I got to figure out where the hell Google put my email. I haven't been able to, I found it a couple of times and now I can't find it again. So I don't know if Google Plus is moving stuff around or if, you know, what's going on with that. So, you know, excuse if anybody sent me a private email and I haven't responded, it's because I lost my private email box. Or I didn't lose it. Google moved it, and I can't find it. So I'll find it eventually, and I'll get back to you. But yeah, I spent a little time looking for it last night, and I couldn't find it. So I think somebody put a video out there on how to find your lost Google private mail account. I gotta find that video and go through it and figure out where they hid my stuff. All right, folks, this is getting to be long, so live, love, and have a great time. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Horde. Until then, remember to keep your tires down, your handlebars up, and anybody who wants to build this, who needs some more details, let me know. I'll send them. I'll send you whatever details you need. I would like to see another few of these get out there, and I would like to see people try to put them on other bikes. Right now, this thing, once again, is set up for a pulsar, you know, something that looks like that. Could it replace points? Yeah, probably. What it's looking for is a packet of charge to trigger the CDI unit. So I don't know if I can use the 12 volts to perhaps charge up a capacitor, use a very high value resistor to do that. And then when these, you know, when you close the leads, when you close the red to ground, right, you would discharge that capacitor, which would provide the charge to fire that thing. I think I could do that, or I think somebody could do that. I haven't gotten that far with it, but I'm pretty sure that'll work. So, okay, guys, take care. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Horde. Thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing. Bye now.